managing the changing of the guard or the rep player who has been there for 4 seasons and is been around, and the new kid on the block is on his tail at the trial. How and would it be worthwhile to cater for either or both of these athletes?
Interesting question.
I love that Tim's got the hard ones.
Oh yeah, I'd hate to sound like I'm just sort of this person with splinters in my butt all the time, vacillating here, not making a decision. But these things are not straightforward. I think I just think that it's not. If you're in that scenario, you've got a closed mindset already. You know, you've got this view that, well, they're supposed to make it and they're not. And it goes back to your mental approach as you go in. Like, yes, you might have a sense of who it is, but keep your mind open. The mind is very much like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. And I think I reckon keep that possibilities open, evaluate, be honest, get that feedback. I mean, all of us, again, could point to kids that the coaches, no, I'm taking that kid. I'm taking that girl. She deserves it more than her, even though she's there. And it could be the best thing for that kid. Now, whether that kid, let's say it's, they're in the 18s, it's tricky because it's the end of their junior career. But if they've been in the 12s to 14s and and they think they were going to make the 18 ones as a bottom age player, and then you don't pick them, and it's like, it could be the best thing for them. It couldn't. It could be an absolute blessing for them because they just hadn't worked hard enough. And there was this other player that deserved it. Now that's just coaching with good values. That's just coaching what's in front of you and trusting. If you do walk out at the trials and say, okay, we're going to pick kids that are, that work hard and listen and that are there for the team, then don't just talk about it, be about it, do that, follow through with that. And then amazingly, those players that do get picked, they're like, wow, okay, this is this is fair income, so that's a big thing. So I think having that mentality, because the other thing of doing that other thing is just not fair.
Yeah.
It's just not ethical. It's not fair. It's, if you put yourself in that player's shoes, you put yourself in that parent's shoes and go, well, they had the team pick. They didn't even give this kid a go. That's just really, that's not. And you want to be ethical as your coach. As a coach, you want to be fair. And of course, if you did have to tell that player, then, have a chat to them, at the end, go to them and say, look, this is what it was about. This is what I thought. And if they, they might be upset and don't take it, but at least you might take that moment because of the uniqueness of that situation. And it's okay to look at situations and say, well, that's a bit of a unique scenario. I'll say something there. You don't have to be a complete fascist when you coach.
I think, Tim, you're 100% right. Like, all you're talking about is have integrity in the tryout process. Like, why do we have a tryout? There's got to be a reason why we have it. Like, otherwise, just pick the team off paper. So, yeah, you're going to split hairs at times, and maybe you've got to come down to some tough decisions, and then you can get to that. But only if you're sort of talking 50-50. Like, it could go either way. If there's an obvious reason this kid should be in before this kid, we'll have integrity in the process. If the new kid is on the tail or overtaking and better than the other kid, we'll put him in or her in. Don't get caught up in these things that don't actually matter and are the reason why parents and coaches and other people get annoyed.
Personalities.
They get worried. Like, that's why people get frustrated with selection, because they go, well, as you said, it was already picked, or they picked on things that didn't matter, or picked on friendships. Like, put all that stuff out of it and pick, pick what's in front of you. Like I said, don't go with the status quo necessarily, but But at the same time, I would say don't always fall in love with the new shiny kid. Like I remember at association level, if a new kid tried out from another association, straight away, oh, this kid, yeah, he's really good, or she's really good. And were they, or are they just new? That's one to avoid. Like, don't fall in love with that new kid just for the sake of it that's trying out from somewhere else, because there's a reason why they're leaving that club, and they're obviously not sticking it out with their home club and really committed to it and loyal. So that's probably a concern straight away. Second thing,
that could be relationship advice right there too.
Second thing is,
everyone.
That's true. Second thing is, you've thrown me off a bit there, Tim. But
sorry, everybody.
You do want to show some loyalty to people that have been in your program too, because at least you know that kid's going to turn up. So it's what's the context? Is it a kid that definitely deserves that spot and is better and going to be better longer term and is just coming to the sport late, like a late developer or late transfer from different sport, but is going to be good, or is it a kid just trying out from somewhere else? Like that's the things you've got to start to weigh up.
Get advice, get other people's opinion.
Correct.
Kind of just. It's not all about, going with your gut instinct. Get ask someone's advice, sleep on it, make a decision the next day. Yeah.